Yeah, I think
that
it's
shadow slice there.
yeah, it's a little interesting too that you can then extort off of the encoded copy of the spell. Definitely a nice impact play there for Dan. Although I gotta say, when I was watching that game, as Dan leads off with a swamp, matched by a mountain, and we're on to turn 2, probably a Syndic here.
Yep.
Looks like he has 2
And
of
let
them,
me
maybe?
just, a quick aside, that card has been the beats in this format. Everybody who's playing turn 2 Syndic is very happy with it.
Yeah, and you'll see the Orzhov decks play it. Obviously carries their mechanic. You'll also see the 2-drop is just so important in the Boros curve.
I've seen it in Boros, I've seen it in Esper, I've seen it. Everybody who can play it does play it.
Yeah, Boros has to play it.
Is that protection from multicolor there?
It might be. It's
I believe
definitely
that's protection from multicolor, which is actually fantastic for Dan because a lot of Hank's big beaters are multicolor guys.
yeah. So that'll be able to stand up very well against those halberdiers, first strike or not.
Absolutely. So Hank's going to be down by 2. Hank will be at 18. He's going to hit a 3-drop. There's that 2/2 flying haste.
Sky Knight Legionnaires. Those are the
Yes.
cards that, to me, differentiate the good Boros decks from the average Boros
Yep.
decks.
If you can get a couple of those guys, you're in good shape. Wojak Halberdiers I've seen it be an all-star several games as well. If you can get Battalion with that card is amazing.
In my sealed event, I had a couple games go turn 1 Boros Elite, turn 2 Wojak Halberdiers, turn 3 Sky Knight Legionnaire, and the sheer power behind that play, as we see an extort trigger that's going to, I believe we should be seeing Dan at 19 here, and Hank will be at 19 as well.
Yeah.
So I believe we
I
should
think
have a
Hank
19 to 19
Hank
life
should have
total.
lost one more life. He should be at 17, shouldn't he? He took 2 from the Syndic and then 1 from the extort trigger.
Well, Hank's on our left. He is the Boros player,
Yeah.
so the only damage he took was 1.
He got hit by the Syndic
right, but
last round.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So 17-17 then, I believe, our life totals.
16-20?
All right,
Leland
well.
informs us it's 16-20.
We're going to stop playing a guessing game.
Yeah.
And
That's illusionary bracers. Now, I don't know that is super relevant right now. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Extort's not an activated ability. It's a triggered ability, so
That's
the illusionary
correct.
bracers is kind of irrelevant
Yeah,
right now.
doing nothing here.
It's just a something to play, I guess.
There was, I believe, an extort trigger, 2 extort triggers off of the illusionist bracers. So Dan would be at 22, and Hank would be at 14.
Right. Play it to get your Extorts on.
Yeah, extort is definitely doing some work today.
You could just kind of ride Extort here.
Yeah, Dan unfortunately has to keep a little track of his time here, though, because with just 20 minutes left after how long Game 1 took, he's got to stabilize the board.
Get the beats in quick so that they can get to Game 3.
Right, he's got to find a way to get the games finished in time. Yeah, I almost thought he should have been conceding Game 1 a little earlier than he did. It turned out that he was correct there because he was able to make
I
a
thought
much
he
better
probably
game
should have
out of
rolled it up after he was about 4 life, but he almost brought it back around. I think
He
if it
did.
wasn't for a couple good top decks for Hank, he would have got there. And Dan looks like he's dropping... I'm not sure what that is.
I'm not sure either. We'll consult the book here. Looks like I believe that's a Mental Vapors. Target
Mental
player discards a
Vapors.
card
Does it?
with Cipher.
Okay,
so
I was going to say, does it cipher? Because if it ciphers, it might be more relevant. He's going to
and-
put it on the Kingpin or the protection from multicolor. He's thinking about it.
Well, right now the protection from multicolor, they're both just going to trade with that Falcon.
Exactly.
But I think what he's trying to do here is make sure he gets to trade with that Falcon.
Right.
And I do also believe we had 2 extort triggers paid, so Hank would be at 14 to Dan's 22.
And Extort, again, showing how powerful it is if you can stabilize the board at all. Looks like Hank discarded a mountain off that Mental Vapors. He's playing something for 6 here.
That's that big, huge, can't be blocked except by 2 creatures
Yep.
Raptor.
Yep.
So, oof. All right, so that guy's got madcap skills built right into him.
Yeah.
Ripscale Predator, 6 mana for a 6/5 lizard, actually. Ripscale Raptor can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. So,
That guy seems like he should be Simic to me, just because he's a lizard.
and we're fighting here on Hank's side of the board.
Looks like Hank's coming in with the flyer, both flyers. Or what's that other guy? He's got Vigilance?
I don't
Looks
even
like Hank declared him...
+2/+2 with Battalion, I believe.
Okay. Leland says he's a +2/+2
Exactly.
with Battalion, and he's a Vigilance guy.
I'm trying to find him here.
That would make sense if Hank's attacking with
I
him.
think it starts
So do we think that's not the Knight of Obligation?
Is it the Commando?
Yeah, it's the Commando.
It's the,
Yeah, the one that
Nav
runs off.
Squad Commando. Right.
Okay.
So Hank's swinging with the Nav Squad Commando.
And it looks as though he's actually lost the creature already. It must be moved over to the graveyard, but Nav Squad Commando is a 3/5 for 5 mana. Whenever it attacks with at least 2 other companions, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and you untap it. So not quite Vigilance, but the effect is the same. As we take a look and see a second encoded spell, that's going to be the Shadow Splice.
He's slicing and dicing Hank, so Hank's going to take 3 off the slice. He's going to get in with the pet for another 2, and then Shadow Slice again for another 3. That's going to be a 8 life swing there for Hank because he attacked with all of his flyers.
Yeah, some big damage getting thrown around. If anybody's available, if they could go get us a confirmed life total here.
Hank has to discard also off of the Cypher trigger there.
As well as the second Shadow Splice trigger. So there's a lot of damage going around.
Shadow Splice is doing work for Dan this game. So it looks like it's 5 to 22-ish. Hank's going to swing with Team. I don't understand that play. Looks like there's going to be a block.
The Syndic just stands in front.
Dan's at 17. Hank's at 2.
So
17 to 2, it looks like.
Yeah, and
Hank's going to throw some sort of spell at
combat
his...
trick. Martial Glory? No. Oh, that's the 5/1 Blood Rush guy.
5/1 Blood Rush.
So does that take care of us here?
Yeah.